Welcome back to Twice Half That. I'm Anthony.
Hello, everybody. I'm a Beidou.
It sounded like the fucking, was it the Beats from fucking, Doug?
Fuck, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember. The only thing I really remember from Doug is Patty Mayonnaise, Skeeter,
Roger,
and what was it? Liver and onions.
Oh, yeah.
Clearing my throat.
And Pork Chop.
Yeah,
in his badass doghouse.
Yeah.
Fucking, but it was basically like a fucking take on the Beatles. And there were the Beats.
Oh, yeah.
And that's exactly what that sounded like, because it was like the hammed up version of what they sound like.
Lightweight remember that. I remember the shitty Beatles more. Wayne's World. They need to do another one of those, but good. Do it good.
Yeah, do good. And get Chris Farley in it.
Shit. And Burton Troyer?
That would be Austin Powers, yeah.
Yeah. That shit. I'd watch it with him too, especially since their motherfuckers are dead.
That's why it would be very impressive.
Well, with the way they're doing, what is it, the CGI, and that's so wrong.
It's like what they did with Paul Walker in Fast and Furious, where they superimposed him on his brother. And granted, that's a little different because he died during the filming too. Like, it hadn't finished.
Yeah, but to do it with someone that's already dead, like Grand Moff Tarkin and
like a couple decades dead.
Yeah, it's just not right. Don't do it. Maybe in like 100 years you can do it.
Yeah,
but now
still too soon. Still too soon.
Yeah, you have to wait. Give it a couple generations.
At least till the ones that actually remember watching his shit when it was made are senile and wouldn't even be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, you gotta let a lot of time pass. Like West Side Story should have never been done now. That's not a good... Did we talk about this last week?
I think we did. Or the week before. I know that we talked about the remakes of stuff. Just don't remember when.
Yeah, it could have been last week.
It was either last week or week before. It was very recently. But yeah, completely sidetracked and we still haven't even started. But like we touched on briefly last week, and I wanted to start getting into, is the misconceived notion of race that we have as a society today.
Yeah, because there's really only one race.
Exactly.
The human race.
There's different ethnicities, there's different genetic backgrounds, there's different levels of melanin in your fucking skin. Like, there's different levels of everything, but what we've conceived as race is a very new concept. And if you look historically, there was a reason they didn't, because there was no need for it. It was put in a position to create a hierarchy that is completely engineered.
Well, and a big part of keeping people segregated is having them distracted by little shit. It was... It's a control method that's been used for a long time. Just now it's entered, an easy... race is easy to divide, because you could be like, hey, he's lighter than you are, so we'll just manufacture. So you're completely different. Yeah, we gotta segregate you motherfuckers. So you're constantly arguing amongst each other instead of
and being distracted from what I'm taking from you over here.
Yeah, and the current way we look at ethnicity, it's relatively new. I'd say within the last 400 years.
Give or take.
Then, you weren't. There was no such thing as the nation state. America, Mexico, Canada, England. Well, I shouldn't say England, but Britain, Scotland, Ireland, France. Those nation states are new. They just came about. Before then, it was land. It was land that your king owned, or, your emperor owned. And before that, it was the same fucking thing. only instead of having a king, it was a chief for your little tribe, and then
it'd be a communal thing where it's the tribes, it's the clans, it's whatever your area called your group of people.
And then before agriculture and we started settling down, it was bands and groups of hunter-gatherers, and that's where a good example of that now would be the Slavic people. They traveled all up and down Asia Minor and the Minor Steppe over there in Asia Minor. And then they started the Turks and all of those peoples, once it became obvious that it's a little bit more beneficial, a lot of beneficial to, everyone if we learn these, farming techniques and just stay put. Because now, instead of literally just living off of the land, whatever grows wild, we can actually plan for the future. We have shit for, winter, and that stockpile of food allows, me to grow it and him to do something that he wants to do, engineering or, government warfare, whatever it is, and shit then explodes. And then it goes a little bit further down the road, and we get to what we all know from what a lot of people know. If you're familiar with the Bible, a lot of that stems from that way of living. Before Christianity, there were the Jews, but they were they were fairly big, but not really. They weren't that big a religion. They were religion.
No, it existed, but it was
to exist within kingdoms, like many religions. And race wasn't so much, your skin color didn't play a big factor in it because there was kingdoms all over the place.
Yeah, and if you go back historically and look at like ancient Greece, for instance, they've actually found reference to the fact that there were people of all different shades involved there and all different, ethnicities where they came from. And it was just another person.
Yeah.
So what we've kind of latched onto, and for a while, very heavily, and it's still there, is a new concept that is not beneficial to humanity.
No, it's not. It keeps us divided, and it keeps people, arguing on a new and just as idiotic line as religion. I get what religion can do to benefit humans, but, we can kind of cut out that tribalism and that constant need for war. And, taking, for example, the whole, a lot of these religions don't like homosexuality. A lot of that stems from, again, back in the day, we cannot make a new soldier. That's not gonna happen. You need me, a chick, him, a chick. That's two kids. Even two chicks can't make another fucking soldier. Can't make someone who can, support staff, whether that be on the battlefield or back at home, gathering supplies, food, water,
growing the food, gathering
shelter,
the water,
keeping the animals safe, keeping the animals. There's many different things. So what's one thing you can do as a religious leader to make sure that your flock stays, healthy? You got to cut that shit out. Bestiality used to be a pretty big problem back in the day. Again, another thing that's in the Bible,
and at least until recently in some states.
Yeah, Washington and Florida. The fuck is wrong with you, motherfuckers? Come on, y'all. And that has led to a lot of retardation for us as a race, everybody as a race. It has really held us back. It is and in a fucked up way, it's also helped us grow by leaps and bounds. Warfare, not so much religious warfare, because at the same time, if you look back into these religions, I believe more Christians have been killed by Christians than any other outside force. And when it came time to a lot of the Crusades and, defending Christendom, and the Pope would give money out to a lot of people, to go and defend Christendom. Hey, go make a strike into their land just to let them know, be cool, you're stocking too much shit in that area, too many raids have been going on, and I need to put a stop to it, defend Christendom. One example of this is, Dracula, Vlad the Impaler. He's on the border, or his kingdom, Wallachia, was on the border to the Ottoman Turks, and they were a vassal state. So they literally, do as I say, or I'm gonna fuck you up and remove you from the throne. That's the type of shit they were dealing with. So they were constantly back and forth. When, Vlad lost his kingdom, he went running. He ran into a Hungarian king that was all like, hey, we're supposed to be fucking fighting the Ottoman Turks, the Muslims. But since you're right here and I really want to spend their money not on war, on me, I'm just gonna take you, say you were fucking colluding with them, and you're my prisoner now, and I don't have to spend no money doing nothing. Okay, bye. Shit like that was done.
Yep.
And then they're really not trying to fight anybody, because it's all like, why? I don't want to lose any fucking men. And then you have that leads to other skullduggery.
It's similar to what's going on in more recent times. It's all the saber rattling. It's I'm gonna talk it up to see if I can get you to back down before I ever actually have to do anything.
Oh yeah, and you're gonna saber rattling is old as
it's older than a saber.
Fucking time itself, legit. It really is. And we gotta get away from that style of thinking, that way of thinking, because races, especially in America, it really means nothing, because before we were a country, we were a loose conglomeration of people who didn't want to be told shit by the crown. And then other fucking people, obviously had touched down in other parts of the Americas. They were about colonizing and literally, making shit for themselves. And, for all my people that keep saying, talking all this bullshit about colonizers, it's like, please, I implore you, please, I understand we are in, an area where they don't want to educate us. The education that we're going to get is slightly biased. I wish it wasn't, but with everyone, that's the way it's going to be. The only thing you can do is really, really research the fucking topic, history,
research it, and research it from different viewpoints.
From multiple different viewpoints.
Don't go all one thing. Go all over and get it from 18 different viewpoints. Get it from every possible viewpoint you can, and then formulate your own believing of it.
Because there is no going back. Unless you are born into a 100% damn near tribal situation. I'm sorry, dude.
It's over.
We're mixed. We're mixed. I am a straight mutt. I'm an American. If I go to Mexico, I'm an American. I go anywhere outside this country, I'm an American. Until recently, I kind of wasn't even seen as one. Which is fucked up. But, hey, it is what it is. All you can do is fight for the rights that are yours, which, again, extends to any homosexual, any transgender, any, what's currently going on, anybody who wants, I know this doesn't have anything to do with race, but abortion, it's along the same lines, of separating people.
Absolutely. It's separating and controlling, and that's where the abortion one comes in. It is separating because you have to believe this and you have to believe this. And what's really annoying is it touches back to religion. Is 99.9% of the time, those that are arguing against homosexual rights, abortion, it's all fueled by religion, which is supposed to play no role in our government in this country. supposed to.
No role. And
like, as in, it's actually fucking written in.
And yeah,
they thought well enough to know that you can't rule with religion.
And I understand the argument of some people making, oh, well, that's not the way it's interpreted. Yeah, that is the way. They knew exactly what they were doing. They owned slaves, but they understood. If you go back, you see, slavery was on its way out on a worldwide level.
Yeah.
It had started being phased out a long time ago. The abolitionist movement in the United States, before the Civil War was going on, it was starting to get heated. Not everybody in the United States wanted to free the slaves, but a good many people were all like, yeah, I believe they should have rights and they should have their freedom. But at the same time, these were white people who were like, fuck, if they are free, that's going to be what, like 2 to 4 million, I can't remember, people who are going to come up and and I know they're going to get paid a lot less than me, which means I'm going to be out of a job.
Yep.
Because I'm more expensive, they're cheaper, you can hire 2, maybe 3 to what my motherfucking salary is, so you have someone who agrees morally, but financially there's an incentive for them to be like, we do need to do something. I don't know about freeing them fully, but we do need to do something about the situation. Then you had abolitionists like John Brown, who was legit like, bitch, you're gonna let them go. This is not negotiable. If you want to say no, I got this 12-gauge shotting that kind of wants to motherfucking argue with you. Do you want to argue with it? And 5 motherfuckers said yes, and he killed him. And that, he was the biggest one, but that was starting to lightweight happen.
He was the biggest one, but he wasn't the only one.
In a bunch of different areas.
That's really, he's the biggest, but not only.
And even through, the fight for, in the Civil War, it was about slavery. It really was. The whole situation was about slavery. It wasn't so much about, giving us freedom for the sake of giving us freedom, and it's kind of we look politically a little backwards, and if you're from the North, you're a little bit like, these Southerners have a little bit too much power, spending power and political power and lobbying and, fucking the old school, greasing the wheels, and that was starting to be a problem. But, and I urge you to look into it, because it wasn't so much black and white, I'm fighting for your freedom. There was a lot of other political things that were going on. And everybody needs to understand, at that time, if you were white, for the most part, you were a white supremacist. It's okay. That is literally the atmosphere in which they lived, and unfortunately, their whole westernizing, civilizing the savage was done, lightweight as a means of, we're uplifting them. Did they mean well? Some of them, some of them, yes. Most of them, no, but they were like, you're gonna do it whether you want to or not, because we're the uniter. We're the one that's gonna make the world in, our image. Not so much you're gonna do it because I want you to, but come on, it's best for everybody.
Yeah, it's for the greater good.
Look at the not the Boxer Rebellion, but look at what we did going into Japan and China. Basically, just fucking the open door policy. That's what the fuck it was. Just busting this your bitch ass up and open these motherfucking ports. Nigga. Legit. That's what us in Britain did. We just went down there and was all like, hey, where my shit? I look cross-eyed.
That's just normal.
But that's literally what we did. Nah, I ain't taking this. You shutting your ports and you not letting me come in and exploit you. You fucking tripping. Look what I did for Africa. And it's all like, well, some people you helped, others not so much.
Others really not so much. Like,
what the fuck? And I'm not saying... the United States, we didn't have anything to do with the slave trade other than buy dying, is pretty much the Dutch and the English.
Yeah, they kind of had
in the beginning, the Portuguese, they started it. They started it, and then the Dutch fucking really rolled
and started the modern slave trade. That's gone on.
Yeah, it's gone on for a long time, and anybody born in this country, you need to, especially if you're fucking colored, you really need to look at the history of some of these European people. A lot of fucking Russians for a long time. Shit, just up into... They got their freedom after we did. A good portion of them were serfs, which means they were tied to the fucking land. So if I owned all of San Francisco... okay, maybe not, that amount of population, but let's say make it like 5,000. 5,000 people live in San Francisco. Let's go very, very early in the town's motherfucking history.
Very early. I owned pre-gold rush.
I owned almost everyone there. And then let's say, oh shit, I want to move to fucking, Idaho or whatever. I sell that land. All those people, all those 5,000 people...
Are included in the sale.
They stay with the land. They're now his motherfucking serfs. They do as he says. Fucking, yeah. San Francisco fucking education... See what I mean?
San Francisco Unified School District?
That's what I meant. Tripping over my motherfucking words.
That motherfucking mouth starts going too fast and the brain's just...
Yeah, it's like, all right, hey, fuck it. The right side's like, all right, whatever. I'm not fucking playing with this motherfucker no more. But...
Thank you, Arlene Ackerman.
Oh, yeah.
We already mentioned her before, but... Thank you.
Yeah, and eventually we'll get better mics, so I'm not fucking knocking this goddamn thing in 20 fucking seconds. But, you really need to understand the history of everyone, because we're all tied, especially in this country.
Especially, you're talking about one of the melting pots of all melting pots. I mean, you call yourself a mutt, I consider myself a mutt. Like, you look down like a fucking DNA test, and it's 3 pages.
Yeah, it's a lot. I got a lot. I'm pretty much the world. We're maybe a little bit of Asian. Well, Native American, so there is Asian in there, but
technically,
there could be more. I don't know. I'd like to do the Ancestry, 23andMe.
I did 23andMe.
Are they the same thing?
Lightweight.
Ancestry gives you more
like
your
ancestry,
family.
Yeah.
And it's a continual thing.
Well, for me personally, the reason I did the 23andMe is they have like the health one, and I was interested in seeing what my potential health things were due to the fact that my father was adopted.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Like there was more to it than that, but that being said, that reason along with others is why I want to do it, because I was just interested to see where my heritage came from. Oh fuck.
Yeah, I claim, honestly, I don't give a fuck what you are. I claim your history because I'm human, motherfucker, and we are in a whole new age.
Yep.
A brand new age where we are all
Found out I was Atlantean.
What?
I was Atlantean.
Fuck yeah, I'm Martian. I'm Herculean. What? That was a dude. It's like, nah, it's a race now. Fucking, but yeah, I consider everybody's history to be my history as an American, and I do not believe in cultural appropriation.
No.
If you live in America, especially if you're Latin or fucking black, it's like, dude, a large portion of this nation's motherfucking culture, guess what? Hello, Elvis, guess where he stole most of his shit? From black people.
Yeah.
A good portion of, and hey, vice versa, because Mexicans stole polka from the Germans. That's what mariachi music is. Really listen to it.
That's where the fucking,
the accordion comes from. They participate in the polka world, whatever the fucks. They go there. They're there. We are very interconnected, especially nowadays, dude. You're going to be in for some really weird
even more
shit.
so, getting into culture. Your culture is what you grew up with, what you were immersed in. So if you grew up in an area that was heavily influenced by one group, that's going to be what you identify with because that's what you grew up with. That's what you know. Doesn't matter what that group is.
Yeah, it's literally it's your culture. It's the.
I mean, we've seen plenty of people. It's a straight up. He's white, but he grew up around nothing but cholos.
Yeah, look at Eminem.
Yeah,
it's all like that. That proves it right there. That guy, he's fucking the prime example. Another one, Vanilla Ice. Remember, everybody loved him up until when he won the Vibe Award or
some shit like that. Yeah,
Soul Train Award or whatever the fuck it was. They all were like, "What?" Even he was like, "Oh shit, should I accept this award?" And then everybody fucking straight turned on him. It's a sad thing, but hey, it happens, and we're all growing. We're just now coming out of, we're 50 years removed, 40 years removed from civil rights. We're
like 60.
Well, from the beginning of the start of it and shit, and that shit wasn't just fucking black people fighting. That was a lot of fucking white people. You want to know why the education system started to be gutted? Because motherfuckers started getting educated and saying, "Oh, what? You're not my enemy." Wait, so that's not how that happened?
Hey,
that's not
here's
how
a news flash. Here's a news flash for you. For all of you poor white people that live in the middle of fucking nowhere and they're told that the blacks and Mexicans are stealing your jobs and they're the criminals and they're this and they're that. Here's a little news flash. You have far more in common with those Latin and black people than you do with that rich white dude telling you this. Like, really sit down and realize some of your guys' life experiences are damn near fucking mirrors. You have so much more in common with them than you do with those wealthy people telling you to hate them.
Yeah, it's annoying to see people be divided by race, especially race. I could see class because that's something that's always going to exist. It's another current war they're conducting on most Americans, and it's fucking annoying.
Well, they're doing a great job at combining.
That's a word.
It is.
Correlate. Inside joke from high school.
This motherfucker trying to recite songs and just completely fucking them up.
Yeah, it was a bad day.
Can he hear or is he blind?
I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, a lot of that is currently going on.
But yeah,
good example.
Combining the fact that they're combining the race and class wars. That way, there's always something there.
Occupy Wall Street.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to remember. They literally false flagged to get those protests stopped. There was cops with, literally, police issued boots. I think they even grabbed a couple who were smashing shit and then held them off to the side, and we're all like, these are fucking cops. We're looking at their IDs right now. Like, I'm looking at their badges. These motherfuckers have their uniforms on. Same with the George Floyd protests. A lot of those started the police. If legally in the Constitution it says I'm allowed to have people peacefully protest, the only way I can stop it is if vandalism or violence is committed. Yep. How do you stop something how do you stop that protest if you don't want it to continue? Yeah. By those two means. So you false fucking flag it. The Germans did it in fucking World War II. So did the fucking Russians. We did it during the fucking Gulf of Tonkin, just so we can get involved in that goddamn situation. It happens all the time.
Yeah,
what makes you think it doesn't happen here? Fuck, the CIA ain't supposed to operate here, yet these niggas sell a lot of motherfucking drugs. Look up Gary Webb. Look up poor LA detective Gary Webb. He died, a true American. He suicide or some shit, 2 bullets to his head. How? The back of his head.
I mean, that's pretty impressive.
What the fuck?
Like, that is a first-class suicide?
Yeah, and he caught street niggas getting dope from people in suits or something to that extent, and he was all like, that's weird, that's not how that happens, and he did a little digging, and it's all like, oh shit, that was either FBI or CIA, and he brought it to his boss, and they were like, hey, Quaz, shut up. Reagan, you want to know where them automatic weapons came from in the 80s? Reagan, the fucking Sandinistas. Watch Narcos. Look up, if you're on YouTube, or if you're not on YouTube, look it up. History buffs. That guy, that
if you're not on
channel,
YouTube, jump on there and add our channel there.
Yeah, do it. Fucking look it up, because he goes over Pablo Escobar, and the U.S. government literally threw a U.S. agent under the motherfucking bus, so they could just be like, oh look, there's fucking selling weapons or drugs to the Sandinistas or some bullshit like that. Literally got an American killed so he can push his little bullshit. And a lot of those automatic weapons made it up here to the motherfucking United States, and then they want to be like, oh, protect the police. You did it. You literally put those weapons out on the street. And I'm not saying the Democrats ain't guilty of it either, because Obama did the same, or that administration did the same thing.
And a lot of this is also happening beyond the president. This is happening backdoor deals through Congress and things like that, because they have, powers that the average person doesn't. And there's zero that you can tell me, unless you can actually lay it all out, factual evidence that the Democrats aren't in on some of these deals with some of these Republicans and vice versa.
You have two Democrats individually that constantly vote against the Democratic agenda, just so it could be in line with the Republicans. False flagging. Do you not see these? There are political games that are played. Really, really look. I cannot stress this enough. History, it does not repeat itself, but the motherfucker rhymes a whole hell of a lot.
Yep. And a big reason that it doesn't repeat itself is because we get further technologically past that, and now we don't have to do that exact same thing, but we can take that as a guideline and go do something else that now they couldn't do back then, because they didn't have the resources, they didn't have computers, they didn't have internet, or they didn't have that.
Build off of your experiences, and that's what they do. If you're rich, you're the book that you have is obviously different than the book we have. What?
My book's mostly pictures.
Yeah. Fucking, if you look back in history, especially financial history, Oversimplified is another history YouTube channel that can, better illustrate some of the financial skullduggery that has gone on in the past.
That is a fun
People
word.
know that. They know that. They're going to update it. They're going to fucking change a couple things, tweak it. It worked good back then. It's going to work good now. You look at the current bubbles. These bubbles, that shit is manufactured. If I make it to where you buy all this shit at its actual cost, and then I, who have fucking, niggas that are in my pocket, I make them, policymakers, I make them fucking come up with policies that fuck over the average American, steal the motherfucking, house from under you, or the predatory housing home loanings that they home loans that they send out.
That brain's that working faster than the mouth.
Yeah, man, it really is. Fucking.
If we were fucking talking like mush mouth and shit.
If you look at that, you will see that they are clearly setting it up for you to be knocked down. Then they come in and then they just get it fucking on pennies on the goddamn dollar.
Yeah, it costs $100,000 to build. You bought it for $200,000. You got a predatory loan, so now you're fucking underwater $500,000. So they foreclose and then they come in and buy it for $80,000.
And yes, anyone who or I should ask, plead, bill, Melinda, I know you're no longer together, but one of you motherfuckers come up with a system of investing in which I could legit give to a small business. I'm not, I do not want to put my money in the stock market. I don't trust you motherfuckers at all. Why would I? Look up their goddamn history. I'm supposed to trust somebody who's, a financial advisor. Look into that, because that could literally, I could go get some random doping off the street, clean that motherfucker up, and call him a financial advisor. That's your money.
Yeah, make sure you do if you're going to use a financial advisor or anything like that, you better do plenty of research.
And if you don't
just trust the first thing you see.
Nah, you can't.
Do a fuck ton of interest.
I'm a lie.
Interest, fucking investigate.
P.T. Barnum said it best. A sucker's born every minute. Every motherfucking right now, anything that is currently being advertised to you, there's probably a gimmick behind it. They're probably trying to fuck you out of money. Not saying that it's shit that we don't want to buy. I want to buy bullshit all the goddamn time.
That's all I want to buy. Fuck. That's like 90% of shit I want to spend money on is bullshit.
But
the other 30% is food.
Yes, we really need to get a hold on what you spend your money on. Because, and it's a hard habit to break, but, it will benefit not only us as a nation, us as fucking a family unit, but, us as a globe, because it's constant fucking, churning out of new shit. The earth has a finite amount of resources. The human race can consume a finite amount of resources. Eventually it will be gone. We are running out of fucking...
And we're burning through them at such a ridiculous rate that in the last, 100, 150 years, we've gone through more than we did the previous 4,000 years of human existence.
It's a problem. We really got to scale back. Too many people. We need to settle the fuck down. China, India, you motherfuckers gotta seriously slow down on fucking man. I know it's fun.
Well, hey, you can do it.
Wrap it.
Yeah.
Get a vasectomy. We're at that, if you're in the third world, fucking pull out, man. Do something, because you're not gonna have a kid to feed. And hey, rich people, they're gonna have ways to eat.
Oh yeah.
We're not. And that's where, again, it kind of leads back to race, because when shit hits the fan, there's obviously a hierarchy here, and that shit ain't cool, because, again, most of the people in this country who are poor are white.
The percentages, it's staggering.
People are gonna flip if shit does hit the fan. Like if a Carrington event happens, which is a coronal mass ejection, and we just get bombarded.
It's basically a massive EMP pulse.
Yes,
it's gonna fry all your electronics, so you won't be able to listen to this amazing podcast.
And there's a lot of motherfuckers out there with guns.
There's a lot of motherfuckers out there with multiple guns.
And I'm not afraid of a race war, because that shit ain't gonna happen.
No.
We're so fucking intermixed, man. It ain't even funny.
Yeah.
It ain't even funny.
And you get further into that, there's so many stories of former supremacists, regardless of what race, coming, the main reason they went into that mentality was either family or region, as in they're completely secluded. There is no one other than...
Or they had one fucking bad experience, and it's like, all right, come on.
And then you see them come back.
Warriors winning 95-100. This
with 4.3 seconds.
Game 4.
Fucking, but yeah, it's... They're gonna start. There's so many situations or instances where someone's been in that lifestyle, whether it's in the Klan, whether it's in whatever, and then they end up around one way or another people of a group that they were told to hate, and realize, fuck, I actually like this fucking guy.
Because let's not forget that the Germans and the Italians during World War II were able to blend and literally just change their motherfucking last name. Like, hey, Recipriano, what the fuck's up with your country? I don't know what you're talking about. My name is fucking Johnson, dude. Like, I'm not fucking... that's not me. I'm not Italian. You know, I'm not German. I'm not Weisberger. It's fucking, you know, Crane. You know, a lot of people change their names, but since you look like everyone else, hey, you know, in Japs, they got thrown in the internment camps because of, you know, and I don't mean Japs derogatively, shit. You know,
you gotta be careful.
It's short. I never meant it. I never got that.
Yeah.
Never got that.
That's for a derogatory term, that's got to be one of the, like, nicest derogatory terms there is.
Like, and nip is one that also got me because I was all like, well, don't they call Japan Nippon? So calling them a nip would be fucking calling them what the fuck they are. Yeah. You know, like
on the scale of derogatory terms, I think the Japanese actually probably got the best one. Like the least harsh.
We were lazy as
mean sounding.
We were lazy as fuck when it came to giving shit. Jerry. Oh, okay, Jerry. That's what we're calling him, huh? That's his bad name. You guys suck for that. See what happens when you don't have black people fucking part of your goddamn shit? That's what happens. You get shitty names being fucking given out. No, but, I mean, race has been a problem, because if you look at World War I, you know, when in the Revolutionary War we were fucking desegregated, then, you know, they fucking segregated the motherfucker, then completely were like, no, I don't want no blacks fighting, period. And then that's fucking what we got stuck with to Korea. Yeah, because when we joined World War, when we were in France,
there were
World War, no, not integrated.
Oh, I thought you meant fighting, period.
Lightweight. Well, you could say.
Okay, I misunderstood. I thought you meant we didn't have any fighting, period.
No, we had.
Yeah, integrated. Okay.
We had units that fought. Obviously, the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah.
Patton had an all black tank squadron. They were bad.
They were bad.
And again, you know, I hate to fucking say this, but if we go to war with anyone, I mean a real war, not this fucking conflict bullshit or war on terror. I mean real war. Whoever that country is, let's lock everyone up from that motherfucker and then just sit back and wait, because them men that come out of there and women that come out ready to fight are going to be some of the baddest motherfuckers to come out this bitch. You don't believe me? World War I, Harlem Hellfighters. World War II, the 92nd, I want to say, infantry. Damn, they fought at Monte Cassino. Those motherfucking Japanese dudes, those American motherfucking dudes were bad ass nigga after nigga after nigga getting fucked up on that goddamn mountain in Monte Cassino, and they just kept going and going and going. Hella motherfuckers got decorated during those battles. Look it up. They're, I want to say, the most decorated division in World War II. They fought hard, and that area was not easy.
You might be right.
That was a goddamn grindhouse. You know, but seriously, I urge everyone, you know, simple history, history oversimplified, you know, the one I've been listening to, and I'm a plug because I like it a lot, Vlogging Through History. Chris, you're awesome. Watch that. Those are really good, you know, history channels that will put you up on game, not just American history, but world history. The more you know about that, the easier it is going to be for you to see, you know, bullshit coming from any politician, and honestly, bullshit coming from many different areas.
Yeah,
you'd be like, man, I know where you coming from with that. That's damn near what happened, circa this year with this.
Well, and that's what they do. Like, speaking on that is, history doesn't necessarily repeat itself, but it adds it to the playbook.
Man, it rhymes like a motherfucker.
It adds it to that playbook.
On that note, my school's gonna be ending in like 2 weeks, so we're gonna try and pump out more motherfucking content for you guys. Whatever it is, all over the place. We're not really aiming for any specific platform. We're just gonna go for whatever.
We're just gonna put it out there.
Whatever comes. If you want.
And those of you that have been watching or listening, thank you for joining us and spread the word. I mean,
we'll get better.
Yeah.
Practice makes perfect.
We've been in front of the camera 3 times now,
and I'm not real.
I'm not a big camera guy, and
I don't have the face for it. See.
Yeah, he's got a face for nothing.
I got a face for radio.
Yeah.
That old saying. Well,
hey, spread it. We appreciate y'all, and we will get better and keep pumping out content for y'all. And on this topic, this will not be the last we speak of it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more.
We'll get into it a lot deeper. We kind of had to cut it a little short tonight. But we'll catch you next week.
22 skidoo.